Over the years, the X-Men team has become one of the largest in comic book history, not just in terms of their popularity, but in size too. We have seen tons of unique and bizarre mutant characters attend the various mutant schools, watch them grow, and eventually become some of the most strange and often lesser known X-Men to date. While some of these characters have a tendency to fade into the background, with X-Men joining the MCU, we are hoping there will be lots of opportunity and lots of space for some of these odder mutants to get their day in the spotlight. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Today we are going to be taking a look at some of the forgotten and unusual mutants who we think are still awesome in their own right, as we count down the top 10 weirdest X-Men we need in the MCU. If you love mutant kind, be sure to show your support by giving this video a thumbs up. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10, No Girl. There are so many gloriously strange stories when it comes to mutants' origins in the comics that just deserve some acknowledgement in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. X-Men, after all, is at its best when it's part grounded in reality with mutants' everyday, usually teenage problems, part drama and end-of-the-world epic scenarios, and part ridiculousness and comedy. No Girl kind of has all of this. She is Martha Jones, a young mutant who was captured by the human supremacist group, the U-Men. The U-Men removed Martha's brain from her body and used her telepathic abilities against other mutants, keeping her drugged so she would do their bidding. Eventually, a conflict with the U-Men and X-Men allowed her to be freed, and she enrolled at the Xavier Institute, now just a floating psychic brain. Hence her name, No Girl. Number 9, DAZZLER. So yes, we already got some DAZZLER action in the Dark Phoenix film, for those who have seen it. But just because Dark Phoenix wasn't a box office success doesn't mean we should let DAZZLER's cinematic presence fall by the wayside again. Alison Blair has always been a reluctant hero in the comics, who is often more focused on her music career than her role as an X-Men. She has been part of the team before, but her reluctance to take on a hero role, except for when she truly feels that compulsion to act on injustice or fight against imminent doom, is what makes her interesting. That reluctance, I don't know, there's something interesting about that. Her powers aren't conventional either. She can transform sound to light and works in the realm of energy manipulation. Often her light powers make her a mutant who is looked down upon or underappreciated. But she also has a passionate fan base and was once the leader of the awesome alternate reality multiversal mutant team in 2012's Extreme X-Men, which is a super fun comic, and I wish we could do that in a movie. Number 8, Jumbo CARNATION. Jumbo never really had a huge role in the mutant community and was never an official X-Men, though he did make his first appearance in the early 2000s comic series New X-Men. But he's still a really interesting character. And for the fact that he was in that series, we're going to count him X-Men for the purpose of this list. Although, to be clear, he was in the series, but not really specifically on the team. Instead, Jumbo is busy with other exploits. He is a mutant fashion designer who focused primarily on designing clothes and garments for some of the more physically unusual mutants of the world. He was dead for quite a while, but has more recently popped up as the White Queen Emma Frost's personal fashion designer on Krakoa. And we can assume that he lives on the mutant island nation and probably designs clothes for, other mutants as well, who also live there. Number 7, Glob. Another strange mutant who also first appeared in New X-Men. Glob is a mutant whose skeleton and organs are completely visible due to his skin, or more outer encasing really, being composed of a transparent living wax. He is known for being good friends with Kid Omega, Quentin Quire, and was one of the mutants on Wolverine's X-Men team. There are a few mutant classes or teams I'd really love to see make their way into the MCU. One of them is Wolverine's team, and another is Spider-Man's X-Men class. I'd also just really love to see the love and respect build between Spidey and the X-Men as it has in the comics. Number 6, Lucas Bishop. Bishop isn't one of the weirdest X-Men in terms of appearance or power set. His powers allow him to absorb and convert energy, which he can then rebound to attack with or transfer into other forms of energy that his body can use. He can use absorbed energy to heal, increase his strength, or speed. Nothing too wild in the realm of mutant powers, and considering how many energy manipulators there are out there. What makes his character weird is that he's a time traveler. In fact, he's also not even from the main continuity of Earth 616, but instead hails from the alternate future belonging to Earth 1191. It's hard to introduce Bishop into a film without going into his backstory, unless you skip it and are already dealing in a doomed alternate universe like in Days of Future Past, which briefly features Bishop. although he quickly dies in that movie. But his character is so cool that it'd be worth it to get into all the alternate future timey-wimey stuff, and it would be cool to have a film featuring him and Gambit, or potentially him and Cable, because they have cool dynamics. Number 5, BROO. Can you ever have too many of the Marvel alien races and space adventures pop up in the MCU? Well, yeah, you probably can. But the Brood are such a huge and interesting threat that I really think they could fit in well to Marvel's cinematic retelling of the X-Men team's story. Especially the Brood, because the Brood and the X-Men have had a bit of a thing. BROO is an alien mutant who, you guessed it, belongs to the race known as the Brood. He is unique because he is different from all the other Brood in that he has compassion. Brood are actually known for being vicious and reveling and torturing and causing pain to others. BROO is not like that. He's also super smart and looks pretty adorable when dressed up in human clothes. Number 4, STACY X. Disney might not be ready to explore this character's origins just yet, but then again, they have been more and more open as time has progressed to embracing non-PG content. I remember when it was shocking that they made something as violent as Pirates of the Caribbean. Does anyone remember being like, wait, that's Disney? What? STACY X is Miranda Leevald. Last we heard, she was a depowered mutant seeking for a reason to live, and she has yet to appear in the Dawn of X relaunch, but I'm hoping that we're going to see her there soon, and hopefully on the big screen as well. STACY X had the ability to manipulate her target's pheromones via touch, allowing her to elicit physical reactions. She can make you feel terribly nauseous and vomit like crazy, or allow you to feel intense pleasure. This is what made her such a talented worker at the X Ranch, a mutant brothel. When she was powered, she also had a scaly appearance, and she ended up joining the X-Men when the X Ranch was attacked by the Church of Humanity and burned down. She also had an on and off again weird thing with Angel that I kind of liked. Number 3, Rachel Summers. Rachel Summers is another weird X-Men member because of her origins, but not necessarily from her power set or her appearance. Although her appearance is definitely unique. We probably wouldn't call it weird though, more interesting. The cool and bizarre thing about what Jonathan Hickman's Dawn of X relaunch is doing right now is it's both allowing the X-Men and mutant kind to evolve into something new, to move forward, while also acknowledging and paying tribute to their past. It's creating a mutant culture, or a mutant lore in a way. And one of my favorite things about this is that the house that the Summer family lives in now allows all kind of crazy different characters and timelines to exist under one roof, meaning that Rachel is living with main continuity Jean and Scott, who are basically alternate reality versions of her parents. In Rachel's reality, Scott and Jean got married and had one daughter, Rachel Summers. Rachel, however, can also tap into the power of the Phoenix Force, as her mother was merged with the Phoenix when she gave birth to her, making Rachel a kind of confusing but super cool and super powerful character. Just more Summers in general might be interesting because the Summer family is pretty crazy. Number 2, FANTOMEX. FANTOMEX would likely be a hard one to explain, but hey, if we can make Cable work, I'm confident that we can attempt to make almost anything work. FANTOMEX speaks with a French accent. He sounds French, but he claims he isn't. His nervous system can detach and become its own flying vehicle or humanoid form. Since his introduction in the comics, he's had a variety of different names attached to him. He's gone by Jean-Philippe, Charlie Cluster 7, and Weapon 13, as well as FANTOMEX. And his sometimes detached nervous system is often referred to as Eva. We don't know what that stands for, but I guess Grant Morrison just liked the name Eva. Let me know if you have a guess as to what Eva stands for in the comments, or if you somehow talked to Grant Morrison and figured that out. Or if you are Grant Morrison, that would be good. Well, FANTOMEX may be super confusing and weird, he's also pretty mysterious, cool, and is definitely a badass with a great character design to boot. So even though he's very strange, I'd love to see him in the MCU. Number 1, Eye-Boy. One of my favorites when it comes to the more odd category of mutants is Eye-Boy. Eye-Boy is covered in eyes, which sounds like it might be more harmful than useful. However, his eyes allow him to see all sorts of things that others can't. He has enhanced perception, not just in terms of distance and clarity of vision either. Trevor Hawkins can also use his eyes to help see things at a molecular level as well. So his eyesight also gives him an extremely closer look and better understanding at the world and its going-ons. I'd love to see Eye-Boy pop up in the MCU in some kind of detective capacity. His powers would make him a pretty good mutant detective in my opinion. Eye-Boy never gets enough respect. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. Who are some of your favorite weird X-Men? What X-Men do you think we need to have in the MCU? Do you think we should have a new Logan step in, someone take over for Hugh Jackman? Or simply just be introduced to a different Wolverine, like we could have Laura Kinney or Dawkins? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight. You stay nerdy, YouTube.